into Waikiki, and local people mostly avoid Waikiki like the plague. To them, Waikiki means land of no parking. No, serious, man. You park in Waikiki, let's say you lose your ticket, it's actually cheaper just to give them your car. But there are places that you can park cheaply, but you just gotta kind of know where they are. Coming up here, here's an interesting piece of trivia for you here. I'll try to get a shot of it. It's the Ilikai Hotel. The Ilikai Hotel is famous for being the hotel that Steve McGarrett, the original one on the old Hawaii 5-0, that's the hotel he stood on when he did that famous turn to the camera. I think their offices were up there, so they went upstairs and they just shot it there. You know, here's something you may not know about the opening of Hawaii 5-0. First of all, that big wave, everybody goes, hey, where's that wave? I think it's sunset, but they flipped it. No, it's pipeline. Well, it turns out that it could very well be rock piles. I say that because the guy who shot it, his name was Risa Badigi. You know, he was an Iranian American, a director from LA, and they brought him in to shoot this, and he doesn't exactly remember where he shot it, but he described it, and all the surfers got together and said, you know what? I think that's rock piles. And the waveform kind of matches, you know. So that's where that big wave was. Here's something interesting also about that, while you be the judge. He was offered $200 every time the opening aired, right? This guy, Risa, the director. And he took it, right? Okay, that'll be cool. And then about 5 months into the show, they said, you know, we don't think this thing's going to get picked up for another season. What do you say we just give you $5,000 as a buyout because we probably won't make 2 years? And he said, okay. Well, guess what? Next time you make a dumb move, think of that one, because he lost out on a lot of money. It ran for 13 years, right? And not to mention syndication and yada yada. So I'm sure this bus idling in front of me is not wreaking any havoc on my sound at all. Not to mention big trucks on the side here. Now, obviously the tour bus in front of me is delivering tourists, which are a very important part of what goes on here in Waikiki. But this truck to the left, see how big it is? Yeah, it's delivering those little umbrellas that I put in Mai Tais. Whole truck full of those, because, you know, what's Waikiki without little tiny umbrellas? Look at these giant bronze statues over here. Hilton Hawaiian Village. The Hilton Hawaiian Village here is actually famous for a couple other reasons. It's where the radio station KGU at one time was housed. It was the first radio station in Hawaii. Yeah. And that's why it only has 3 letters. And to this day, it only has 3 letters. One of the few in the country that has only 3 letters. Sorry, I'm trying to think and negotiate Waikiki traffic at the same time. By the way, KGU, the station, that's the homing beacon that the Japanese pilots used when they bombed Pearl Harbor, because they knew KGU was coming from Hawaii. Kind of an infamous notoriety, but still, I might burn them. Oh, Kimo! Ayu bala! Kimo Kahawano. Good friend of mine. Entertainer, fire knife dancer extraordinaire, radio's disc jockey, and many times on Hawaii 5-0. I, on the other hand, have never been on Hawaii 5-0. The old one, and especially not the new one. People always ask me, when are you going to be on the new Hawaii 5.0? I say, I doubt that will ever happen. Why? Because I actually look like a detective in Hawaii and not a model. So, oh! Okay, now we're entering Waikiki proper here. Waikiki, by the way, is of course a Hawaiian name, and it means sprouting water, because at one point this was all kind of marshy river land with water that came straight up out of the ground. In fact, architecturally speaking, it was kind of a problem when they were building some of these giant edifices. Let's go take a look at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. So this is it. I headlined the Monarch Room in this hotel for about a year and a half back in 1981, when I was doing a lot of that sort of thing as a comic in the main room here. This is the Moana Hotel. This on the right here was the second hotel ever built in Hawaii. Uh-oh, hold on. We have a police officer late for lunch. You know, it's funny, you look at Waikiki now, and to think that this is where King Kamehameha I landed when he conquered Oahu in his quest to unite all the islands. King Kamehameha I landed here. Well, he didn't attack immediately. He spent 2 days replenishing supplies and gathering food and water and doing reconnaissance of the enemy, and, you know, took a dinner cruise, surfing lessons, that sort of thing. And then he went from here and pushed Kalani Kupuli? What is it? Kalani Kupuli, yeah, I think it was Kalani Kupuli, another king. Yeah, like people across the internet. No, I think you have that incorrect, Andy. Anyway, he landed here and then he went all the way back to the Pali, pushing the enemy back and back and back till finally he was pushing them off the cliff. How's that? By the way, this didn't just happen, okay? King Kamehameha I united all the islands. Okay, boy, here's a test. What year was it? Oh, I know. It was 1795. That was the year. I'm positive, because ironically, that's exactly how much it cost to rent a beach chair now. 1795. All day.